Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you watched yesterday's video, which was our weekly top 10, this week it was top 10 worst all-time gimmicks. And if you watched that video, then you know today's video is also going to be wrestling related. We're going to do a quick recap of Impact's pay-per-view from this past Saturday night Against All Odds. I waited a few days just to see if anybody else wanted to watch it, so you could give me your thoughts on it on the comment page as soon as the video is done, because I thought it was a good show. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. But for some reason, a lot of people are upset about the main event match. I don't know if they're upset about the actual finish of the match or if they're upset about what happened after the match. But if you have seen it and you have any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. And let me go ahead and say this while we're talking about comments, because you know we always like you to like the page and comment and share and subscribe. And it helps us greatly if you not only subscribe, because it is free for you, but also helps us if you like the page, because you may not know this, but if you like every single video that you watch, the more likes that we get, the more apt we are for somebody to see us if they're on YouTube and they don't know who we are. The more likes you get, the more you pop up on somebody's YouTube homepage. And since we cover so many different sports and not just one, if somebody gets on YouTube and types up NASCAR, well, if we've got enough thumbs up on our page, we'll pop up because of the fact we talk NASCAR once a week. If somebody gets on YouTube and they just type up Major League Baseball, there's a chance our page could pop up because we talk Major League Baseball. So the more likes we get, the more of a chance we have of somebody that doesn't know us finding out who we are. So please always like every single video that you watch, and also subscribe and tell your friends about it as well. And now without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the Against All Odds, the Impact pay-per-view from this past Saturday. The opening match was a street fight tag team match. Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer beat the Good Brothers. And as soon as you hear the name Tommy Dreamer, you should know that it's going to be a street fight or a hardcore match or something like that. But Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer beat the Good Brothers. The second match saw Joe Doering, and if you follow Impact, you know he's part of Eric Young's new faction called Violent by Design, but he beat Satoshi Kojima in a really good one-on-one match. And then the third match was X Division Championship match. There was 5 men in the match, and it was a no contest. The referee decided to go ahead and call for the bell because of interference from somebody who was not part of the match. So it was a no contest. But if you want to go back and watch the match because you have not seen it yet and see all 5 guys that were in the match, please feel free to do that and give me your thoughts on that as well. But I don't know of anybody that likes no contest matches at pay-per-views, but that was the result in the third match. The fourth match was the man who was previously known as Big Cass. Now he's going by his real name of William Morrissey. He beat Rich Swann in a one-on-one match. And then we had Tennille Dashwood beating Jordan Grace in a knockouts one-on-one match. And then we had a knockouts tag team title match where Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz beat Kimber Lee and Susan Young to retain the knockouts tag team titles. And then we had Violent by Design beating the Decay to retain the Impact tag team titles. And then in the semi-main event match of the evening, we saw Deonna Purrazzo beat Rosemary to retain the Knockouts Championship. And then in the main event, like I just talked about a couple of minutes ago, Kenny Omega beat Moose to retain the AEW Championship and the Impact Championship. But the bad part was, after the match, Sami Callihan got fired. Now, of course, we know it's a storyline, but I think a lot of people got upset about it because you took a guy who was not even supposed to be in the match and you bring him out there after the match to fire him, and you take away from what the guys did in the main event to focus on Sami Callihan and getting storyline fired. I think that's what's got most people fired up about the match, because to me, the match itself, it wasn't a phenomenal match because Omega and Moose just don't have good chemistry, but it wasn't a terrible match either. But I'm seeing so many people complain about the finish, and I'm assuming that it was after the match with Callihan getting fired and not the actual match itself. But if you have not seen it, please go back and watch it and give me your thoughts on that and anything else that you might have thought about the show, because in my opinion, Impact right now is actually, for the most part, I don't totally personally like the whole Kenny Omega being on their thing, but outside of that, I think Impact is actually doing some pretty good stuff right now. It's just it comes on a channel that most people don't have, so most people don't know about it and don't have any idea what's going on. But to me, they're actually doing some pretty good stuff right now. So if you're a wrestling fan, I would encourage you to not only go back and watch Against All Odds, but catch up on some Impact and see what they're doing, because there's actually some really good stuff going on right now at Impact Wrestling. I just wish it still came on, a TNN or a Spike or something like that people had, instead of a channel that most people just don't have. But of course, you can always, find the stuff later on so many different networks now and so many different devices. But as far as watching it, when it's on, it's really hard to do that. But if you have any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. Tomorrow, we're going to discuss the NXT show from Sunday night, which was called In Your House. So if you've watched that, please feel free to go ahead and leave me your comments on that. We'll discuss it tomorrow. If you have not watched it yet and you want to watch it before tomorrow, please feel free to go ahead and do that as well. Go ahead and give you our dad joke of the day. What kind of dog doesn't bark? A hush puppy. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.